Gain some speed and go up to the loop. You can hear the slats whistling. Hey pilots, welcome back to Motion RC. I'm very excited to be out here today with the Black Horse Wilga. It's been a fun project. I have had 2 flights on this successfully for the pictures and things already. I can tell you this airplane flies absolutely beautifully, and I cannot wait to share it with you today. After the flight, I'll go over some of the different settings that we've done on the airplane to make it fly like this. But for now, let's taxi this out and let's get you a flight. Here we go, pilots, taking off the Wilga from Black Horse. Absolutely beautiful. 1-notch takeoff flap, and here we go. Ooh, that was a terrible takeoff, but I'm up. Didn't get on the rudder quite quick enough there. She's a big, docile kite out there, though. Look at that thing. I mean, it is beautiful. I gotta redeem myself here in a minute with that takeoff. Look at this thing though, it's just a gentle giant. Absolute beauty. Kick the rudder around, a little cross control. Currently flying it on 8S, just putting it. I'm gonna droop the flaps on this next pass. Turn it around. Drooping it in all the way. Here we go. Look at this thing. Just crawling. Kick the rudder around. I love it. I gotta get a redemption for that takeoff here in a minute though. What a nice, slow flyby. Might turn it into a touch and go. I tell you what, it is one beautifully docile airplane. Hardly any wind out here today. Bring my ailerons back up, leave the flaps down. Kick her around with the rudder. I mean, it's just so locked in. Totally could do one wheel touch and goes with this. It's definitely a rudder plane, man. It's effective on this. Kick the rudder around. Ah, butter. All right, I'm gonna bump up the speed a little bit. Let's bring our flaps up. I'll show you that it can go faster, but the slow flight is where it's the funnest at this plane, realistically. Does a nice loop or roll. Sure, it'll do a nice loop too. Gain some speed and go up to the loop. You can hear the slats whistling. Kick her over. Maybe go up for a stall turn on this next one. And up. Throw the rudder in. Beautiful flying airplane. Absolutely beautiful. Get the flaps down and do that fun stuff again. Bring her to a crawl. I love it up here in the trees. Oh. Just remember to use that rudder. Keep your turns coordinated with this airplane, especially at slow flight. Look at this. Just cruising down here in the trees. Effortless. That's what I would call this airplane. Power, punch out of the hole. Effortless to fly. Down to 0 power. Adding the power back in. Whoops, that was a little hard. Still getting kind of used to it. You know, this is only my third flight with the airplane. And I'd call this pretty much a remade-in flight after having to do that repair. But man, does it fly nice. Big lumbering giant. Flaps are up, coming in for a hot pass with the Wilga. Funny thing to say. But man, does it fly beautifully. Climbing just a tad. I'm gonna put a little bit of down elevator in there. Man, I'm loving this airplane. See a wing upper. Tell you what, the slats whistle on it when you really get it moving. You know, guys that like Draco, this is what Draco started life as. And this is the biggest one you can get. All right, so there's my 5-minute timer. I'm gonna come in, get her slowed down here, dropping 1 notch of flaps. Get my 2nd notch coming in. We're gonna try and hit the grass out in front of us here. Redemption for that terrible takeoff. We'll have a good landing, right? Hey, that was way better than the takeoff, right? Let's taxi it back and kind of show you around the model. So pilots, that was the Black Horse Wilga. This plane is awesome. If you like Cubs, but want something that's a little bit different, more unique than something else at the club, I guarantee you, you won't see another Wilga normally at your local flying club. And this thing flies absolutely beautifully. I was very surprised how nice it actually is. This is my first big balsa airplane that's ever had leading edge slats, and I can definitely tell a difference when this thing is crawling along. Now, I did have a little fun. The real Wilga doesn't actually have drooping ailerons, but I did do it on this one. Let me spin it around for just a second for you. So the way I set up the flaps is I'm using an 8-channel receiver, and I have each one of my control surfaces in its own port. Now, the reason I did that is eventually I want to be able to do crow also, where the ailerons come up and the flaps go down. But for right now, what I have is flaps right there and aileron droop to match them. Now, you could go more aggressive on the flaps than this, but I really didn't feel like it was necessary, and the airplane flies so slow already with this setup. And as you can see, now my ailerons just come up and down as ailerons, or you put them up and you have your normal flaps and then all the way up. Now, I will say, when I was flying it with just the drooped flaps for my takeoff, it jumps off pretty quick, but when you droop the ailerons to match on the wings, this thing will take off fast and get up and out of Dodge. For my elevator, I have 100% throw on it actually, and I really like this on any STOL airplane. You can see I have a lot of throw. It's really cool. They did model the counterbalances in the front of it. Here you can see they're actually separated just like the real one is. And there is a longer antenna when you get this out of the box. It sticks up to about here, but it wouldn't fit in my trailer with it on there. So I ended up cutting a new one that's a little shorter, and that's why that's on there. You also have the little details on the back of the model, like the light that would be on the real airplane. I did not hook up my lights, but for anybody that wants to, the lights on the tips of the wings are hollowed out, and you can run real LEDs out to the wing tips, and you could get fancy and put a light back here also. As far as the inside of it goes, it does come with a fully detailed cockpit, but being that I have mine set up on electric, I don't recommend using the cockpit. The reason for that is your two 5000 4S's go all the way up in the nose, and it's actually underneath the panel that would be where the pilot's legs are. So it actually just screws in and out. If you're making this gas, it'll be no problem, but if you're doing like me on electric, I really recommend not putting the interior in the airplane. Otherwise, you have to unscrew it and take it out of the airplane every single flight. I just don't feel like that's worth it. To get into the model, if I tilt this up for just a second, right here you can see there's door handles. These are actually screw in and screw out. I already have the other side open for access. Let me spin this around for just a second. So as you can see, the doors actually open and close on this model like this. And you just screw that in between flights right there. And that's how you get in to change your batteries. And for me, I'm running a separate onboard pack, and I have it mounted over on the side here, and a switch to be able to turn it on and off. So powering the model is the GP26. This is right off of our website. And the ESC is the same one we recommend. So if you buy everything right off the website that is recommended on the product page, your airplane will fly just like mine. I did not need to add any nose weight to make this electric power system work on this airplane. This has been one of the few Black Horse models that's been this way. If you get this exact motor and run the 5000 4S batteries like I have to make your 8S system, you really do not need any nose weight. It flies very comfortably just like it is. Speaking of CG, it does come with the little wood planks like all the other Black Horse models, so you can hang this up in your shop and be able to do your weight and balance. But like I said, it hit right on CG without having to do any kind of modifications as far as weight goes. Now, speaking of the batteries and the power system, here they are. I've got the Admiral 60C Pro packs, 2 of them in there, and then our little adapter. After that flight, which was 5 minutes of useful throttle, I flew over about 30 seconds, and I know that useful throttle time, it also cuts off, so we probably flew a little bit longer than that. 390 a cell, or 60%. So I think I'm gonna be bumping my timer up to 6 minutes now and trying it there and really feeling it out. But yeah, the Black Horse Wilga, guys, is one beautiful airplane. I can't wait till show season starts up. I'm gonna be carrying this one around with me everywhere because I am just falling in love with this airplane. Well guys, whether it's land, sea, or air, Motion RC has everything you want. See you guys in the next video. Bye.